What is going on, everybody? I apologize. We did not have any shows yesterday, and that was across all of my various channels. I had a doctor's appointment, and yeah, I don't want to bore you with any of those details. Make sure that there's nothing on the lens there. How you guys doing over there? So, Watches and Wonders 2025, and I know they have a very specific brand, maybe two brands that everyone wants to talk about. And we're going to go over the real winners. Not too many losers in this episode, although I will be complaining a little bit. But we're definitely going to go over some of the winners. This is going to be, I don't want to say resoundingly positive, but it's going to, for the most part, be a pretty positive episode. And a lot of good came out of Watches and Wonders 2025, and very hopeful for the watch industry. Without further ado, it is 2:25 p.m. Let's get down to business. Now, I do live streams, guys, Monday through Friday on this channel and over on my podcasting channel. Pretty much every day you get a new piece of content from me, unless I have something like a medical appointment or physical therapy or something and I can't make a certain segment. But please join us live because it's really fun to interact with all of you. And I know some people prefer watching these things as podcasts, so we'd like to wave and say hello and acknowledge your presence, even if you're not here live. Okay, so, yeah, you knew it. I know you see it. Obviously, we're going to start with Rolex, okay? And I know that I think people expect me to bag on them in a very big way, because they're an easy target. Okay, they're an easy target. I'm gonna be honest with you though. I think I'm more pissed off at Seiko than I am at Rolex these days. But okay, we're gonna talk about the Land Dweller in a moment. I'm gonna kind of gloss over that because I know that's been on the forefront of everyone's minds for the last 2 weeks, pretty much. But GMT Master 2, okay, green dial, green black, left hand. I don't know who this necessarily appeals to, only because I am left-handed, and I just choose to wear my watch on my right wrist. I think it's much more fun and easy to wear a right-handed watch. That is to say, like 99.9999999% of watches, the way they are designed, right-handed. And I use them or wear them on my right wrist. And that is because, you traditionally do not wear a watch on your dominant hand. Now, I don't think there's any rules. I don't think there's any regulations. I don't think that there are any formalities when it comes to this. I just, as a left-handed person, this just doesn't even appeal to me, is what I'm getting at. I'm not going to say that's a miss, though. Okay. We're going to talk about these OPs right now. This is awesome because for the last 3 years, Rolex has been effing with their OPs, which is, ostensibly their, it's not their flagship line, but it is their entry to the brand, right? And they've been messing with them, giving them weird, okay, I get it, like, now you got 41 millimeter OPs, which traditionally they were supposed to be smaller than their flagship sports watches. And yeah, okay, now we have these weird, what did I call them? Flip-flop dials with the palm fronds on them. We got, like, the autistic ones with the polka dots. We got that gross mustard yellow color from last year, I believe. So they were really, really messing with them. And then to see these muted tones, this is in stark contrast to what we got last year, right? So instead of these kind of really gross, in-your-face, sharp tones, we have these muted tones. And just because they're muted, subdued tones doesn't mean that they have to have... It's not the absence of color, right? You have this really cool I'm very bad with colors, by the way, guys. I'm partially colorblind, but I'm also very bad with the names of colors. But we have kind of this green. It's not an olive drab, but it is a more subdued green. We have this kind of subdued purple, and we have this kind of custard color. I think these are some of the best OPs that they've released recently. I love it. I think it's awesome. We just saw one watch that I absolutely hate from Rolex this year. We're going to cover that in a moment. But let's jump into the 1908s. Now, this 1908 was a big disappointment to me. And I know everyone and their mothers was gushing over this when they saw it. And I get it. It's because it's a beautiful watch and there's some great symmetry. Okay, this is not something that we typically see from Rolex, which is a big dial, small bezel, traditional traditional dress watch without the dive watch, crown guards and everything. This is essentially, look, it's essentially a straight lug, old school bracelet. Like, if you told me that this was made in 1945, I'd believe you. And that's a compliment. That's a big compliment. This is not modern Rolex. I think it was cool that they dissolved the Cellini line and came out with these 1908s. I think there's a ton of potential with these 1908s, but simply making it yellow gold and giving it a very flashy bracelet, that's really cool. If you guys remember my Vacheron, it's very similar to this, except black dial. It has a really old school yellow gold bracelet, and it's practically the same aesthetic, right? Except that is a 1945 Vacheron, and this is a modern Rolex. The issue here is with the Cellini line, at least you had that moon phase. At least you had interesting complication. Of course, the moon phase is the only one that anyone can mention off the top of their head, though, because the rest of the Cellinis were hideous, ugly pieces of garbage. This is a beautiful watch that has a ton of potential. Why not give it some complication? And I'm not saying throw a chronograph on there. I'm saying give it a moon phase. Give it a world time. Dare I say, give it some form of power reserve indicator even. It's just a very interesting watch. It's kind of bland. You released it a year or two ago. Give it some... It's got legs, but let me see them. All right, so that's a nice looking watch, but a disappointment. Not quite a total miss. But speaking of total misses, this is probably one of the ugliest watches I've ever seen in my life. Okay? And that's saying something. I'm the time teller. All right, I'm the ugliest watch reviewer. So I know ugly. Dude, what is going on? This, like, the Tiffany hype, it's officially over now, guys. All right, when people like my age start using the hip young jargon, it's lit. Yo, that'd be super trill of you. Like, if I start using it, I'm 35. It's not cool anymore, right? Well, this is kind of that, but for Tiffany dials. Once we get a gold black ceramic bezel Daytona with black sub-registers and a Tiffany blue dial, the trend is over. This is hideous. I don't know who saw this and was like, yes, absolutely. Disgusting. That's probably one of the worst watches of Watches and Wonders. Like, the entire Watches and Wonders. Okay, now to this Tiger Dial root beer. Here's the thing. I don't hate this. The issue with it is that it's just not anything I would ever wear, right? So I don't actually hate this dial. I don't hate this watch. I think it's cool that they breathed some new life into the root beer line, because I don't know if you guys know this, but when they redid the root beers like 4 or 5 years ago, for some reason they initially did not sell very well, which is very weird because I thought that they were gorgeous. I thought they were really, really gorgeous watches. I think they're much more interesting than the Pepsis that came out, but everybody wants the Pepsi. So and everybody wanted the Batman, and these kind of fell by the wayside. Even though Rolex, we can complain all we want about the oh no, the Batman, it's different now because we actually put it on a Jubilee. And the Pepsi, it's new because it's on a Jubilee. So it's a different watch. Okay, it's not the same watch that we've been seeing over and over and over and over and over again. So this is something different, kind of. I just would never wear it. It's definitely not a miss. I just don't like it. So pretty much, Rolex overall did pretty well. I think their OPs, those muted tone dials, were really cool. I think this is just not something I'd ever wear. This Daytona with the Tiffany blue and the black subregisters in the gold case is absolutely hideous. And then kind of a missed opportunity with this 1908. I think that they should have given it some interesting complications, and that would have made everyone ooh and ah. Okay, moving on to the Land Dweller, because everyone wants to talk about the Land Dweller, and I have some opinions. Okay, I don't think it's nearly as bad as people say, and I think people comparing it consistently to the Tissot PRX, I'm going to use the R word. Reprehensible. You thought I was going to say something else. It's very stupid because, first of all, this isn't the first time Rolex has released a watch with this design, with that integrated bracelet and that edgy case. It's not even like there's a watch that is much more comparable to this that is not a PRX, and that is a Tudor Royale. Now, where do I think this is better than a Tudor Royale? The thickness. So I was correct when I saw that initial leaked picture on Roger Federer's wrist. I said it looks a lot slimmer. So if that's what they're trying to say with the Land Dweller, you're on land, you're walking around the street, it's going to be thin, sleek, smooth. The issue I have with the name is that Land Dweller sounds like it would be some type of field watch, right? But anyway, it is very thin. Okay, this is like 9 point something. Where is it? It's 9. I want the exact. Where is it? 9.7. Okay, so it's 2.3 millimeters thinner than a Datejust 41. But here's what's interesting. I was also right that this is let's see, a Tudor Royale is 11.5 millimeters thick. So this is actually substantially thinner than even a Tudor Royale. Now, speaking of Tudor, we're moving on. Tudor did a great job. Okay, we get the Black Bay chronographs, which I already thought were really cool. I just don't like the snowflake hands on them. But then, moreover, we have this burgundy. People complain they want a red dial, red bezel sub, but it's whatever. You can get one of these. It's more wearable than a modern Submariner anyway, in my opinion. But these Pelagos Ultra, okay, they gave the Pelagos a 1,000 meter water resistance rating, or the Pelagos, however you want to pronounce it. This is honestly one of the coolest sports watches you can buy, and it's been slept on consistently. Okay, one of the coolest clasps. Even at 600 meters, it was overbuilt, overspec'd, undervalued in my opinion. And now you have even a cooler option. So you can get an undersized one, you can get the medium fat, and now they have these on the market, which are the big boys. Speaking of big boys, now you have a, 42 mil? 43, excuse me. 43 mil Black Bay 68. People were angry about this, and I don't know why. Because forever, you were able to get smaller sized Black Bays. That was kind of like their edge over Rolexes, right? These were more vintage in size. So them releasing an oversized Black Bay, I don't know what you're like now. This just broadens their catalog for people who want a Black Bay, but haven't found one that fits their wrist the way they want. Now you have a 43 millimeter one, and the MSRP is still $4,700. Like, I don't know why you're complaining about this. People that, and I don't even like black bays. Okay, it's like, this is wacky day. I am defending the black bay. People complaining about that, it's stupid. Okay, now I want to talk about, where is it? These. The Black Bay Pro. Okay, so this GMT. Now I know what everyone's thinking, and this is the immediate comparison. Rolex Explorer 2 much? Here's the thing. This is why everything's messed up today, dude. Now I'm like defending Tudor. This is a much better purchase than an Explorer 2 at this point. Okay, $4,300. You're getting a 39 millimeter case, date, GMT, chronometer. You're getting all the specs, no crown guards. This is like a vintage Explorer 2, essentially. Okay, but modern built, modern specifications. And I think I have not worn this one yet, but I'm going to tell you this will wear better than a current Explorer 2. Period. Now, if you want to cough up the money for a 16570, like my Explorer 2, you can do so, and you can get, you can have the Rolex on your wrist, but I don't know why you would do that at this point when you can just get this $4,300 and some change. You get a modern built GMT with a polar dial. Cool. Call it in. Cut it. So I think that's really cool. So Tudor did a really good job. Rolex didn't do that bad of a job this year. I'm not going to really complain that much. But now we get to go, into the true winners this year. Okay. So these Cartier guichets. Yes, it's back. So what is guichet? Guichet in French is like a little it's supposed to be like a little compartment, a little window, a little hole in a wall, like a ticket machine. That's the example that the internet is giving me. We've seen these before because they've done these types of watches before. I'm a sucker for tanks. I think this is really weird and wonky. It's kind of old school idea of what modern is, because it's technically a digital watch, although it's not digital like Casio's digital. There's a vintage guichet. What? Don't you dare ad block add me in the middle of a show. Oh my god, I am about to flip the F out. Okay, we fixed it. Gorgeous. Really cool. So, now you got new ones. Cartier Privé Tank Guichet. Such a beautiful language. It's funny, dude. If you've ever gone to shul during the high holidays, Jewish temple, you realize how gorgeous a language Hebrew is. It's like you ate something bitter. And I can say that because I'm a Jew. But I really love these. I absolutely love these watches. Would I get this over like a Tortue? Absolutely not. Would I get this over even, like a Tank XL automatic? Probably not also. But is this really cool? Yeah, I think it's really, really cool. But I know some people look at this and think it's really, really stupid. So here's where I think these last two, you know what? I'm going to bump one right here. I really, really, really love this watch. Okay. This is the Reverso Tribute Monophase Small Seconds. Specifically this one with the textured gold dial This is a real winner this year. It's not super impressive when it comes to specs necessarily. We've seen crazier complications in reversos. We've seen crazier duo faces in reversos. We've seen crazier engravings even. This is very simple. This reminds me of my Reverso Classique Mechanical. But there's something about this watch, and I'm a sucker for reversos. But it's also a pretty penny. We can see here pink gold, 18 carats, manual line movement, $41,300. Comes on what I assume to be a solid gold, pink gold bracelet as well. Yes, Milanese gold mesh. So it's gorgeous, very expensive, and will cost you a pretty penny. But I think this is probably one of the most beautiful watches released at the show. Now, I'm going to please drum roll in the chat, and if you're listening to this at home later, give yourself a little drum roll. I was going to say I'm going to take a sip of coffee while you guys are drum rolling, but I don't have any more. Oops. Here's the best watch of the show. Okay. Boom. People are going to be so mad. People going to be so mad I chose a simple Calatrava. I absolutely love these. And I'm sorry. Something about the salmon, dude. Salmon dial, people call it aged ivory, whatever you want to call it. This is the best watch. Dude, look at that. The caliber fills the case. Gorgeous. $47,135, so $4,000 more than that solid gold reverso. Oof. Let's see what I'm actually interested to see what the comments say here. Nice. I hope it brings down the price on a particular Japan exclusive. Complaints about the sub dial being out of place on the various predecessors of the watch. Seems like Patek basically threw a new movement into design straight out of 1955. Called it a day. I don't know why that's a bad thing though. This is the best watch of the show. Oh, but it's not a Rolex. Oh. Ugh. Absolutely gorgeous. Will I ever be able to afford one? Probably not. This is probably like the most expensive watch that we've taken a look at. Even the Land Dweller stainless steel is going to cost you what? MSRP is $20,000. If you can even get one, I guarantee you the wait list is longer than the freaking the 101 highway. So it's yeah, insane. But if you're a big baller, this is the watch to get. The Patek Philippe. This new Calatrava is absolutely gorgeous. But you let me know at home what you think. Who are the winners and who are the losers? Again, I didn't go over too many losers today, but I definitely went over a bunch of winners. There were a few misses, but I picked the winners, and I think that the true winner is the Patek, and then that, of course, that Reverso tribute. But I will catch you in the next one. I'm going to go ahead and jump on my podcast. We have a bunch of crazy topics that we're covering today. I'm going to try to get some coffee before that. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. I'm Jory Goodman, the time teller, and always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it. Love you guys.